I've travelled here from Australia. I'm originally Spanish, but I've been living in Australia for quite a long time. I'm a PhD candidate for the University of New England in New South Wales in Australia. And I'm also the editor of Horses and People magazine. And I have been involved in horses all my life. So my area of research is going to be in human-horse interactions. And of course, humans influence horse welfare. Horse welfare, the only problem with horse welfare is people. So human-horse interactions are a major source of, or a major influence on horses' lived experience. So that's the area that I am going to be researching. I've only just embarked in my PhD. So I'm hoping that I will learn a little bit more about the factors that influence behavior change, maybe the factors that impair behavior change, because sometimes we have opportunities to make changes, but we don't engage with them. Mm-hmm. And I think that is one of the aspects that, well, at least it's the aspect I'm interested in. Of course, the 5 domains model is my area of interest, my major area of interest. And I think the way that the 5 domains model influences horse welfare is because it focuses our attention on the animal's experience and away from what we do for the animal. It's more about how the animal receives what we do for them, how they perceive, how they experience, and how they cope with all the conditions and the situations that we put them in. So I always say it's up to the horse to tell us. We have to ask the horse. And that is welfare, is the state the horse is in, and we need to ask them. They're the ones who know what state they are in, and we just have to do the best we can to find out what it is. From an ethical perspective, I think the most pressing need for welfare is that we broaden the input of ideas to a much more inclusive perspective. The horse industry tends to be quite insular. Some people say, well, if you don't know about horses, you shouldn't be commenting, or if you don't know about, or if it can't be measured, you can't talk about it, etc. So I think we need to just be a lot more holistic, a lot more inclusive. We need to look for outside perspectives, look outside the horse industry for solutions, and I think that will happen more and more when we start to think about welfare as the horse's experience. It's quite entrenched in the horse industry that people still think about welfare as the horse's health and the horse's performance. And a lot of people believe that if the horse is in good health and performing well, then it must have good welfare. But that's not quite the same thing. So if we can change the mindset, if we can shift our perspective from just looking at the horse from the outside to actually trying to get in their shoes, I think that's going to make the biggest influence. And for that, we need the help of a lot of different fields of research. We need psychologists, we need social scientists, we need to focus a lot more on how we conceptualize horse welfare, because we're in control of it. Yeah. At the end of the day, we have a living, breathing, sentient creature who has their own evolved characteristics and their own way of perceiving and interpreting the world. They are prey animals, and they are constantly looking out for danger, and we use them in ways that they're not necessarily evolved, and we push their adaptive capabilities beyond breaking point a lot of the time. So I think by considering the horse's nature, the horse's evolved nature as a species, and then as well their individual characteristics, it's the way forward for making equitation more sustainable. The aspects that I really admire about horses are to do with their resilience, their incredible tolerance and capacity to survive in very extreme situations. So even wild horses. They can survive in really cold areas like we have out here. The Icelandic horses are happy as in the snow, and we've got also horses in the desert, and they just have this capacity to adapt behaviorally to really extreme situations, and I think we've exploited that to our benefit, and I think it's time we really make sure that the relationship is mutually beneficial. It's amazing to come to a place like this, to meet up with people from all corners of the world. It is really exciting to hear of all the different projects that people have, all the different perspectives, all the different experiences. We've had the privilege of hearing from some amazing, experienced researchers who are doing really difficult work. Researching with horses is very, very difficult. It is very expensive, and there's so many ideas out there, so much interest, and really, really refreshing. Yeah, it's just wonderful, and you can do networking. People are really willing to collaborate, to hear what everybody else is doing, to challenge each other. So it's really fantastic. I have developed an online short course for applying the 5 domains model. So the 5 domains model is being adopted at a theoretical level by many horse organizations. We keep adding more and more organizations to the list. And my course is probably the first one that's a practical application of how to apply it, to improve the lived experience of individual horses. We have an entire methodology in there with a checklist that's quite easy to apply, but it can just highlight a lot of the things that you're probably already doing well, which is always a good boost for your confidence. And then also areas that might be of compromise, and then you can figure out if it's a risk that you might need to prioritize. That'll come up as well. And then also it opens up avenues for thinking about places that you might want to improve. My course is hosted by the University of New England. It's open for everyone to take. You don't have to be enrolled in the university. It's in English. It's been really successful. It's been running since June, and there's 85 people on the course from all around the world, and I've received really good feedback. So I think applying the 5 domains model is one of the best things people can start to do individually to improve their own, not just the horses' welfare, but also their own literacy and welfare. That give themselves a language to be able to express and to demonstrate all the things they're probably doing well. Because I'm sure there's a lot of things we're doing really well in the horse industry, but there is still room for improvement, and that's just little incremental improvements. We need a method that can highlight those so that we can take them and they seem manageable. I think the 5 domains model does that. I have only ever worked with horses. I've been competing on horses. I competed at quite a high level internationally in eventing, and I did a lot of coaching. And then it was only once I more or less had finished my competitive career that I found out about learning theory. I translated Andrew McLean's book, The Truth About Horses, into Spanish. And then I thought, why didn't anybody tell me about this 20 years ago? And of course, it hadn't been invented by then. But everything made a lot more sense after that. And I could explain all the things that had gone well in my career and all the things that had gone wrong. I could explain the reasons why, and I thought this needs to be promoted. So through Horses and People magazine, I began promoting equitation science. It's probably the first magazine that really got behind promoting equitation science. And through that, through those years editing the magazine, I just became more and more enthusiastic, and I made really great connections through the Equitation Science, International Society for Equitation Science, ISIS. Made some fantastic contacts, found my tribe, like-minded people who I really respect and admire for the work they do and the passion they put into it, and the genuine sort of concern about improving horse welfare and human welfare outcomes. So yeah, I found my place, and now I have the opportunity to do some research in that area, which is new for me. So I'm really excited about it. This is an amazing place, like this facility, the weather. I mean, I'm looking at a nice landing pony being led back into the stables in the snow. The facilities, the staff, the people, the opportunities for research that are offered here are amazing. And the fact that it's brought so many people from so many different countries, and the opportunities to collaborate and network. And the lectures have been amazing, learning about all the different projects that people are involved in. Just like my brain's just expanded.